evening and welcome to the African Diaspora News Channel. I'm Whitley McCoy. Questions are intensifying in Jamaica following reports surrounding operations of a Chinese naval hospital ship and the sharp contrast in how many patients it was allowed to treat in different parts of the country. According to reports, the Chinese naval hospital ship Silk Road Ark docked in Montego Bay, where it reportedly treated more than 2,000 patients in just 3 days. During its time in Montego Bay, the ship provided a wide range of medical services, including consultations, diagnostic testing, surgical procedures, demonstrating both the capacity and readiness to serve large numbers of patients efficiently. However, when the ship later moved to Kingston and docked at Port Royal, the situation appeared to change. It is reported that the medical team was instructed to limit patient intake to approximately 100 patients per day using an appointment-based or first-come, first-served system. This directive has sparked public concern, and the conspiracy theorists are out, particularly given that the ship had already demonstrated its ability to manage significantly higher patient volumes without reported incidents.
By way to access is via your parish health or health center, where you initiate that. Some people are walking in and are impacted. They have a limitation in terms of the numbers, so it's a risky move, but nevertheless, you can get access that way.
Once you get here at the terminal, you'll be directed to our pre-screening area, which is the large bus bay, as we call it. You will move from there to the vessel where you'll be registered. Once you're registered, then they'll know where you'll be going if you're going to get normal checkups, or if it needs more than that, they'll do that from their end.
So tell me why we not like progress. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I don't have all the details, but tell me why Silk Road Ark, the Chinese naval hospital ship, docked in Montego Bay and saw thousands of patients, well over 2,000 patients in 3 days, did things like surgeries and all kinds of stuff like that. When they moved on to Kingston, they docked in Port Royal, and then a statement was issued. I saw this on Jamaica Gleaner that they've been instructed to only see 100 patients per day and to do it by some type of an appointment system or some first come, first serve in certain situations. But the whole idea was to limit how many patients they were seeing. No, the ship had already demonstrated that they had the capacity and the ability to see thousands of patients. So why tell them they need to stop seeing so many? What was the point in that?
The contrast has led many to ask simple but pressing question. Why was access expanded in Montego Bay but restricted in Kingston? As of now, there has been no public explanation clarifying why the limitation was imposed or which authority issued the instruction. Officials have not indicated whether the restrictions were related to logistics, security protocols, medical licensing requirements, diplomatic considerations, or broader policy concerns. Some observers argue that the lack of transparency has only fueled speculation, especially at a time when public hospitals across Jamaica continue to face capacity challenges.
Silk Road arrived in Jamaica's territorial waters on November 22nd and is now anchored at the Pedro Keys. It will relocate to the Falmouth Pier this weekend. A total of 104 medical professionals are on board, including 60 doctors, 32 nurses, pharmacists, and technicians. The Office of the Chief Medical Officer is working with them and the team on the ground to find the best and most efficient approach to treating with patients, or certainly any other type of clinical support or otherwise logistic support that may be necessary as we seek to build back our facility. A Tier 2 field hospital supported by the government of Barbados is being installed at the Savlamar Hospital as we speak. I will be in that area tomorrow, and we're hoping that by this weekend, we should commission the operation of that facility.
Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
Others have questioned whether geopolitical sensitivities may have influenced the decision, noting the increasing scrutiny surrounding China's expanding presence in the Caribbean and the wider global south. China has in recent years increased its medical diplomacy across Africa and the Caribbean, often deploying hospital ships and medical teams to provide free care as part of humanitarian outreach and bilateral cooperation. Supporters of such initiatives view them as critical stopgaps in under-resourced healthcare systems, while critics argue that they raise questions about influence, sovereignty, and long-term dependency. Still, none of those concerns have been officially cited in relation to the reported patient limits that's currently ongoing.
Somebody lying. No, somebody lying. Somebody lying. Somebody lying on mentiroso. Somebody lying. Today is December 8th, 2025. It's 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Why is there a Chinese ship in Jamaica? I'm not talking about no Chinese ship. I'm not talking about no random ship. I mean a big vessel ship. I mean a medicine ship. A medicine ship. China spent over a week getting to Jamaica. Not Japan. I'm sorry. Arigato. Wagwan Bridger, what you say? China spent over a week getting to Jamaica, and their claim was because we had to help patients after the storm and the earthquake that took place. No, wait a damn minute. Woman gave me da dianhua. Shama? We called you first. For anybody and everybody that's missing it, China ain't never sent a vessel or a ship ever to Jamaica, but they're sitting outside and it's too big just to be a medical ship. Now, I know you're paying attention to everything else that's going on in the news right now, but I really need you to pay attention to the buildup. Between that 150 flotilla that's in the Pacific and them now having a Navy ship sitting outside of our back door. I don't think you understand. They just passed a $900 billion bill, defense bill. Do you know what time period we passed a bill that was that large? 2007 Iraq, Afghanistan, $120 billion were passed in a defense bill. We're going to war. And they won't tell you until we get hit. But Trump started it.
What remains clear is that the Silk Road Ark had already demonstrated the capacity to treat thousands, making the decision to restrict services in the capital particularly difficult for some to understand. As of this report, Jamaican authorities have not publicly addressed the reasoning behind the directive. Until clearer answers are provided, the situation continues to raise broader questions about healthcare access, decision-making, and of course, transparency, especially when international humanitarian assistance is involved. We'll continue to follow this story. For the African Diaspora News Channel, I'm Whitney McCoy. Stay informed, stay connected.